So hey everyone, this is Yude here. So today I'm gonna teach you one of the best optimization technique that I came across after a decent problem solving journey. So yeah, you can use this coding technique in your online assessments, and there's a good probability of chance that it can come into interviews also. And recently, if you have given LeetCode weekly 467 contest, in that the third problem uses this concept. You can solve the third problem. I think the acceptance rate of that problem is very less comparing to other medium problems. Yeah, you can use this concept in those kind of problems. I think it will really help you. So we'll see. So what problem I'm talking about is sum of subsequences. So I think most of the people, you have solved this kind of problem. So what is the question? The question is simple. The question is, let's say the given array is 1, 3, 4, and he will give you one sum k. Let's say the k is around 4 here. So now what you need to tell is whether there exists a subsequence in this array with this respective sum. If yes, you have to return it true, or otherwise you need to return it false. So that is the question. I think most of the people have solved this question, right? So usually we solve this kind of problem using the dynamic programming, which would cost us the time complexity of big O of n into k, right? Big O of n into k. So these will be the two states that we will be storing in our DP, right? But if you use this technique, it can reduce to big O of n into constant time. You can say it as big O of n. So whenever you find this problem as a subproblem of the bigger problems, you can think of the optimization technique that I'm going to teach you, and you can try to apply it over there, and it'll really helpful. I used this concept to solve LeetCode weekly 467 contest, and you know, it is really fun. First of all, we'll see what all possible subsequences sum are present in this array, right? So I'll just make it here. So if you carefully see, these are all the subsequences that are present in this array, and these are the sums that are possible in these subsequences, right? So we'll give you 1k, and you need to see whether it is in the possible sums or not, and you have to tell whether that sum of subsequence is possible or not, right? So this is the problem. So now how will we optimize this? That I'll teach you. Now how to optimize this? We'll optimize this approach using the data structure Bitset. Now if someone doesn't know what is a Bitset, you can find it in online and study. I'll just give you a simple overview, right? So Bitset data structure is nothing but a collection of bits where you can store either 0 or 1. You can store binaries. So you can think of a Bitset data structure like an array of booleans where each index can hold either a 0 or 1, right? So this is what a Bitset data structure will look like. So again, there are a lot of factors in this. It is a memory efficient data structure, and you can ask me, you can also take an array and you can store this 0 and 1 as well over there, right? So Bitset data structure works in a different way, and for an array, if you store an integer, it would take around 4 bytes, right? But here, for each position, it will take only a single bit. And here we'll be performing bit operations, and that will be happening in constant time in this data structure. How, if you want to know how, you can search it. So yeah, coming to the Bitset data structure. So first I'll tell you the declaration. So let's say you need to write Bitset and the size that you are taking here, which is, let's say here I have taken a size of 9. And then you have to give one variable name here, which is bits, right? So this is how you declare a Bitset data structure. So again, so right now the optimization that we are currently talking about is by performing this operation. So now you know. So now in order to optimize this approach, we will be using this Bitset data structure, and we will be using this exact bitwise operations. So what we will be doing over here is we will run a single iteration performing this bitwise operations on this array, and we will be getting all those possible sum of subsequences in our Bitset array. right? So how? I'll show you that. So here I have declared a bitset size of 9. Why I have declared a bitset size of 9? So first of all, you have to declare the bitset size, whatever the maximum possible sum in this array. What is the maximum possible sum in this array? That is 8, right? So that is why I have declared bitset of size 8 such that I will be getting an index of 8 in my bits array, right? So you have to declare the maximum possible sum plus 1 as your bitset size. So initially it will be all initialized with zeros, right? So yeah. So initially it will be all initialized with zeros. So before starting the iteration, just make the index 0 as 1. Make the index 0 as 1. Again, why I'm making this 0 as 1? So I'll just give you the perspective. So whatever the indexes that we are having, it is representing the sum. So before starting the iteration, currently we are having a sum of 0. So that's why the index 0 has 1, right? So now we'll be starting this iteration. So what our I will be going to 1, right? So for I equal to 0, what is the operation here? This is our bits array. So you need to left shift your bits by 1 position, right? Then what it will become? So now this 1 will be coming over here, right? So now this 1 will be left shifted to 1 position and remaining all are zeros, right? Correct. So you need to OR it with the previous bits, which is the original bits, right? So you need to OR these two and you need to store it in this, right? So after performing this operation, how does your bits look like? So, right, 1 or 0 will give you 1, 1 or 0 will give you 1, and remaining, since rest of all are zeros, so it will be remaining as zeros, right? Right. So now after going to one index, now our bit is like this. What does this indicate? It is telling you after going through one index, these are all the possible sum of subsequences until this index, right? So if you take only one, then the sum will be 1. If you don't take this one, the sum will be 0, right? Until this index, these are all the possible sum of subsequences, correct? Now we'll be moving forward. Let's say the I is equal to 1. So we are moving over here. So what is this number? That is 3, right? So we need to perform this operation again. So you need to left shift this bits by 3 positions, right? Now you need to left shift this bits by 3 positions. So now what will happen? This 0 will come to this index and this 1 will come to 4th index, right? 4th index, and rest of all will be zeros, right? Now you need to OR it with this bits, right? So after you OR, 1 or will give you 1, 1 or will give you 1, and rest of all will give you zeros, right? Will give you zeros. Now we have iterated 2 indexes. Now we have this bitset data structure with us. Now what it is indicating? So after traveling 2 positions, these are all the possible sum of subsequences. If you carefully see, let's say if we take 1, 3, the subsequent sum will be 4. If you take only 3, the subsequent sum will be 3. If you take only 1, the subsequent sum will be 1. If you take no element, the subsequent sum will be 0, right? So that is how. So you keep on iterating on this array. So let's say, so now for index I equal to 2, what will happen? So now for index I equal to 2, you need to left shift this by 4 positions and you need to OR it with this bits array, right? You need to left shift with . So now if you see, after performing this operation, this is how our final bitset data structure looks like, right? So what does it indicating? It is indicating all those possible sum of subsequences in our bits array, right? So what we have done here, we have just iterated a single loop and performed these bitwise operations, right? So bitwise operations usually take a constant time, right? So you can say we solved it in big O of n. So bitwise operations will take only constant time. So we can say that the worst case time complexity will be a big O of n. Again, when to use this approach? So there is one restriction when you can use this approach. So if you carefully observe, we need to take this bitset size as the maximum possible sum of this array, correct? So let's say if the maximum possible sum in the array was 10 raised to power 9, then you can't take a bit set size of 10 raised to power 9 and you can perform these operations, because we do have a memory limits, right? So in order to use this approach, the maximum possible sum should be within 10 raised to power 4 and 10 raised to power 3. So whenever, if you observe some problems where the maximum possible sum is within 10 cube to 10 power 4, and he is asking about some of these subsequences, you can use this optimization technique and you can come across through all these possible sum of subsequences in a single go, So this will optimize your additional time k into some constant time, which will lead to this big O of n. So this is how you exactly optimize the sum of subsequences problem. And in future there could be a different problem also, like, right? So I'll just give you a array. Let's say I'll give a query where I'll be giving you some k, and you need to tell whether that sum of subsequence is possible in that respective array or not. So if you construct this array, so no matter what he asks, you can directly answer that query in big O of 1, right? So following the traditional approach, for each query, it will cost you big O of n into sum. But if you have built this approach, right, each query will be answered in big O of 1. And yeah, and this approach is really a cool technique, and I use this technique. Sometimes I don't know how to optimize this, and that time it is really helpful. So yeah, if you still have any doubts, just please comment me below. I'll be happy to reply you.